I never thought 4 months could stretch out like an eternity in the Arizona heat. That's how long it had been since Mark died, for agonizing months where every sunrise in our small town outside Phoenix felt like dragging myself through quicksand. The house was still full of him, his favorite mug in the cupboard, his boots by the back door, scuffed from hiking the red rocks. But nothing haunted me more than his old Ford pickup, parked in the driveway like a silent sentinel, gathering dust under the relentless sun. I'd walk by it every day, half expecting to hear his deep laugh echoing from the cab, ribbing me about how I always fiddled with the radio stations. This morning, though, something cracked inside me. I couldn't keep ignoring it forever. It was time to face the music. My hand shook as I snatched the keys from the hook. The dry air hit me like a wave as I stepped out, but chills ran down my spine anyway. I eased the door open, almost bracing for him to be slouched in the driver's seat with that easy grin. The leather still carried his scent, sandalwood aftershave, mixed with black coffee. I slid in, closed my eyes, and murmured, "All right, Mark, let's get this over with." I figured I'd clean it out and sell it by week's end. Holding on to it was just prolonging the pain. I started in the back. Crumpled fast food wrappers from our last road trip to Sedona, a stray hair tie from Lily's ponytail, an empty Gatorade bottle. Then I hit the glove box. At first glance, it was mundane registration papers, a tangled charger, a chewed-up pen. But shoved in the back, under a stack of maps, was a tiny black flash drive. No label. Nothing fancy. I turned it over in my palm, frowning. Mark wasn't the type to squirrel things away like that. Or so I thought. Curiosity gnawed at me, so I headed inside and plugged it into my laptop. A single folder popped up, for Emily. My pulse quickened. Inside were scans of documents, a bunch of photos, and audio clips. I clicked the first doc, a scanned letter in Mark's neat handwriting. My breath caught. It was addressed to me, but the words hit like a sucker punch. He was confessing something, his tone heavy, like he was walking on eggshells. Names jumped out, Sarah and Ethan. Who the hell were they? I opened a photo next. There was Mark, arm around a woman I'd never laid eyes on, her smile warm and weary. Next to them, a boy about 7, clutching Mark's hand like it was the most natural thing in the world. I stared, my mind reeling. No way. I clicked another. The kid perched on Mark's shoulders at what looked like a county fair, both beaming under string lights. The room tilted. I wasn't mad yet, just numb, like I'd been dunked in ice water. Who were these people? Why were they with my husband? Why hide it? We'd been married 12 years. Built a life here in this dusty corner of the West. Raising our daughter Lily with barbecues and starlit camping trips. I'd buried him with a heart full of grief and love. Now I was gaping at proof he'd been someone else entirely. The boy, Ethan, had Mark's curly hair, his lopsided grin. It was undeniable. My thoughts spiraled into a dust storm. Was this an affair? A secret kid? I felt like a fool, like the ground had shifted under my feet. But deep down, a voice whispered it might not be that simple. Mark had always been the guy who stopped to help strangers change a tire on the highway, who volunteered at the local food bank. Still, this was a whole other level. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just sat there, the screen glowing accusingly, knowing my world had shattered. Nothing would ever glue it back the same. Sleep evaded me that night. I paced the living room, the flash drive burning a hole in my pocket. Those files replayed in my head, Mark's voice on the audios. Warm and steady, the letters spilling secrets, Photos of Sarah and Ethan that felt too intimate. Their names echoed like ghosts in our quiet home. They didn't belong in my story. In Lily's. So, why had Mark woven them in? By dawn, the fog lifted, replaced by a burning need to know. Not rage, not quite, but a drive to uncover the truth. Why keep this from me?
I dove back into the drive.
A subfolder labeled Support held bank statements, monthly wires to Sarah K. Nothing extravagant, but consistent for 5 years. One had an address, a modest neighborhood in Tucson, about an hour's drive south. It wasn't Mark's usual haunt. He stuck to our Phoenix suburb, with its strip malls and saguaro cacti. But there it was, staring back at me. I dressed quickly, told Lily I was running errands. She was glued to her phone, oblivious, and hit the road. The desert highway blurred as I gripped the wheel,
Knuckles white.
What was my plan? Confront her? Demand answers? I pulled up to the address, a weathered apartment complex. Stucco walls baked by the sun, with a few potted cacti out front. I sat in the car, engine idling, heart hammering. Before I could chicken out, the door swung open. There she was, Sarah, toting a reusable grocery bag. A boy tagging along. Ethan. My stomach dropped. He was 8, tops, with that same mop of curls. They looked ordinary, happy even. Sarah crouched to fix his shoelace, her laugh light as he chattered. She didn't seem like a homewrecker, just a mom scraping by. That twisted the knife deeper. I wanted to villainize her, but she radiated quiet strength. Ethan pulled a keychain from his pocket, leather, hand-stitched, just like the one Mark made for me on our anniversary. His touch was everywhere. This wasn't casual, it was personal. I didn't get out. I watched them stroll away, hand in hand, then drove home in a daze. No tears until I saw Lily's bike tossed in the yard. Then it flooded me. 2 kids in this mess. One raised in the light, one in shadows. Which Mark was real, the devoted dad or the secret benefactor? I mourned both. I tried acting normal, grilled burgers for dinner, chatted about Lily's soccer practice. But inside, I was a wreck. Glimpses of Ethan haunted me, his grin mirroring Lily's. How do you drop this bomb on a 12-year-old? Hey,
Kid.
Your dad had a side gig as a guardian angel? Fate decided for me. That evening, while I scrubbed pots, Lily yelled from the den, Mom, what is this? I froze. She'd found the drive still in my laptop. On screen, Mark with Ethan at a playground. Who's that boy with Dad? Her voice cracked. I rushed in, sat beside her. Lily.
Breathe.
I just found out myself. Tears welled in her eyes. Is he?
D'adesson?
Do I have a brother? I whispered. I don't know yet. She pulled away. You should have told me. Her pain mirrored mine, betrayal layered on loss. She stormed off, slamming her door. I stared at the photo, Mark's joy stabbing me. Lily cried herself to sleep that night. I wanted to explain, but how? I didn't even have the full picture. The silence in our house grew thicker than the summer humidity rolling off the salt river. Lily barely spoke to me, her eyes dodging mine over breakfast. I didn't blame her. I was furious at Mark too, for dumping this puzzle on us from beyond the grave. But the questions clawed at me. Why the secrecy? Was it an affair? Or something nobler? I needed closure. So 2 days later, I drove back to Tucson. This time, I parked and marched up the cracked sidewalk to Sarah's door. My knock echoed like a gunshot in my ears. She answered quickly, in jeans and a faded tank top, her expression shifting from surprise to recognition. Emily, she said softly. I blinked. How do you know my name? She stepped aside. Mark talked about you. I figured you might show up someday. Her calm threw me off, no defensiveness. Just quiet acceptance. I followed her in. The place was cozy. Not fancy. Kids' toys in a bin. A well-loved couch. The scent of fresh coffee. She offered a seat at the kitchen table. I stayed standing. I found the flash drive. I blurted. She nodded, pouring herself a mug. Is Ethan Mark's son? I demanded. She met my gaze steadily.
No.
Not biologically. Relief and confusion crashed over me. She sat, gesturing for me to join. We met at the ER in Phoenix. Ethan had a bad asthma attack. I was uninsured, freaking out about the bills. Mark was there for a checkup. Saw me breaking down in the waiting room. I lowered into the chair. He covered the meds, sat with me till Ethan stabilized. Gave me his number. Said call if things got worse. She stared into her coffee. I didn't want charity, but a month later, Ethan relapsed. I called. I was juggling waitressing shifts, barely making rent. Mark helped, found us this place through a buddy, brought groceries, even tutored Ethan in math. My throat tightened. Why hide it from me? She sighed. He worried you'd misunderstand. Think it was an affair. But it wasn't like that. He adored you and Lily, bragged about her soccer games constantly. Her words rang true. No malice in her tone. I swallowed hard. He never. She shook her head firmly. Never crossed a line. It was kindness, pure and simple. He said helping us reminded him why life mattered. Tears pricked my eyes. This wasn't the betrayal I'd feared. It was Mark being Mark. The guy who'd donate to every GoFundMe that crossed his feed. But the secrecy stung. Sarah pulled an envelope from a drawer. He left this for you, in case you came. I took it, hands unsteady. I don't want your money or pity, she said. Just wanted Ethan to know stability. Glancing around, no luxury. Just hard-earned normalcy, I nodded. I need time to process. She smiled faintly. Take all you need. Mark always said you were the rock in his life. I left. Envelope clutched tight. A whirlwind of emotions churning. Sarah wasn't a rival. She was a survivor Mark had lifted up.
Now.
I had to reconcile that with the hurt. Back home, I stashed the envelope in my drawer, not ready to face Mark's words. Lily's cold shoulder persisted. She ate in her room, headphones on. I ached to bridge the gap. But how? 3 nights later, under the whir of the ceiling fan, I finally opened it. 2 letters. One for me, one for Lily. Mine started. Emily, if you're reading this, I'm sorry you learned this way. His script brought him back vividly. I never meant to deceive you, he wrote. But I didn't know how to explain without causing pain. Sarah was in a tough spot, single mom. No support net. Helping her felt right, like paying forward the luck we had. It started small, but I couldn't abandon them. His tone was raw, apologetic. I should have trusted you. You're the strongest woman I know. The one who held me together through my job loss. Through everything. Tears blurred the ink. I didn't love her romantically. My heart was always yours. But Ethan. He brought out a paternal side I cherished. Reminded me to be compassionate in a harsh world. He confessed the fear. I worried it'd shatter our family. Selfish. I know. Forgive me if you can. Tell Lily I love her fiercely. And I'm proud of the young woman she's becoming. It ended. Yours eternally. Mark. I sobbed, clutching the page. He'd messed up. Big time. But out of misguided protection, not malice. The legal side was clean. No shady dealings. Just wire transfers from his personal savings. Nothing that violated community property laws in Arizona. It was ethical gray area, but humane at its core. Morning came, and I knocked on Lily's door. She was sprawled on her bed, scrolling TikTok. "Got something for you," I said, handing her letter. "From Dad." Her eyes widened. "He wrote it before." I nodded. She took it gingerly. "Read when you're ready." I left, giving her space. Downstairs, sipping coffee by the window, watching the sun climb over the Superstition Mountains.
I felt a shift.
The pain lingered, but understanding bloomed. Mark wasn't a saint, but his heart had been in the right place mostly. Lily emerged an hour later, eyes red. "He said he was scared," she whispered. I hugged her.
"Yeah, kiddo."
He was human. She didn't pull away. "Does this mean we have to hate him?" I shook my head.
No.
It means we love the whole messy truth. For the first time since the discovery, we talked, really talked, about the hurt, the confusion, the good memories outweighing the bad. It wasn't fixed, but it was a start. I didn't plan on bringing Lily along that next visit, but she surprised me. Over tacos one evening, she mumbled, "If you're going back to see them, can I tag along?" My fork paused midair. "You sure?" She shrugged. "Kinda curious." I nodded, heart pounding. The drive to Tucson felt eternal. Lily fidgeting with her playlist. "What if they're weird?" she asked. "Then we leave," I said simply. Sarah greeted us at the door, Ethan peeking shyly. Lily hung back, arms crossed. "This is Lily," I introduced. Sarah smiled warmly. "Nice to meet you." Ethan waved timidly. "Hey." Lily muttered a hi, eyes on the floor. We sat in the living room, awkward at first. Ethan showed off a Lego set. Lily glanced over, unimpressed. But then he asked about her bracelet, a beaded one Mark had helped her make. "Cool," he said. She softened a tad. "Thanks. Dad and I did it together." Ethan pulled out a similar one from his wrist. "He helped me with mine too." Lily's eyes widened. "Really?" They compared them, the tension easing like a valve releasing steam. Sarah and I exchanged glances. No forced chit-chat. We let the kids navigate. By the end, they weren't besties, but Lily didn't bolt. On the way home, she said, "Ethan's not so bad. Kinda like a little cousin or something." I smiled. "Yeah," she nodded. "Dad helped them a lot."
Huh.
He did. A pause. "Maybe that's not all bad." Her words hung in the air. A fragile bridge forming. Weeks blurred into a tentative routine. We'd drive down to Tucson every Saturday, the highway cutting through saguaro-studded deserts. Lily gradually thawing. At first, visits were stiff, polite hellos. Awkward silences broken by Ethan's chatter about school or video games. Sarah kept it light, offering iced tea and stories of her nursing shifts at the local clinic. No pressure.
No expectations.
I admired her resilience. She'd clawed her way through without handouts. Mark's help just a lifeline in rough waters. One afternoon, as the kids played Uno in the backyard under a shady mesquite tree, Sarah confided, "Mark never wanted to overstep. He'd drop off books for Ethan, help with homework, but always went home to you." I nodded, the sting fading. He was like that, fixer of problems. Legally, it was straightforward. His contributions came from discretionary income. No joint assets dipped without my knowledge. avoiding any marital property disputes under Arizona law. It wasn't fraud, it was quiet philanthropy. But emotionally, that was the battlefield. Lily started opening up too. During one visit, Ethan showed her his sketchbook, doodles of cowboys and cacti. "That's pretty good," she admitted, pointing out a detail. He beamed. "Thanks. Mark taught me shading." Lily paused, then shared a photo on her phone, her own art from last year. "Dad helped me with this one." Their shared connection to him wove invisible threads. Back home, Lily asked questions. "Why didn't Dad tell us?" I explained as best I could. Fear of misunderstanding. Protective instincts gone awry. He wasn't perfect, but he cared deeply. She pondered that, her anger softening into empathy. The turning point came during a monsoon storm. We were at Sarah's when thunder cracked, rain pounding the tin roof. Power flickered. We huddled with flashlights. Ethan, scared, clung to Sarah. Lily, seeing his wide eyes, pulled out her phone. "Wanna watch funny cat videos?" He nodded eagerly. They laughed together as lightning flashed, the storm mirroring our inner turmoil, but also bonding them. Sarah whispered to me, "Your girl's got a big heart." I smiled. Runs in the family. As months passed, the visits evolved. We picnicked at Saguaro National Park, the kids racing through trails Mark had loved. Lily taught Ethan soccer tricks. He showed her how to spot constellations in the clear desert sky. One evening, around a backyard fire pit roasting marshmallows, Ethan asked innocently, "Where's Mark now?" The air stilled. Sarah glanced at me. I took a breath. "He passed away a few months ago."
Buddy.
"But he cared about you a lot." Ethan's lip quivered. "He was like a dad to me." Lily reached over, squeezing his hand. "He was our dad too, in his way." Tears flowed, but they were cleansing. That night, driving home under a canopy of stars, Lily said, "I get it now. Dad wasn't splitting his love, he was multiplying it. Wisdom beyond her years." I teared up. Exactly. The lesson sank in. Secrets erode trust, but forgiveness rebuilds stronger foundations. Mark's mistake taught us that compassion doesn't divide, it expands. Our blended dynamic grew organically. Sarah invited us for Thanksgiving, turkey with green chili stuffing. A Western twist. The kids decorated the table, giggling over inside jokes. I felt Mark's presence in the warmth, not the shadows. No revenge fantasies lingered. Instead, gratitude bloomed for the unexpected family we'd gained. But life threw a curveball. One visit, Sarah pulled me aside. "Emily, I've been thinking, Ethan asks about you and Lily constantly. Would you consider legal guardianship stuff? Just in case." My heart skipped. Not adoption, but a safety net, naming me as backup if something happened to her. Arizona law allowed it via simple estate planning. No courts needed upfront. It felt right, honoring Mark's legacy. "I'd be honored," I said. We hugged, sealing a pact born from loss. Lily's reaction surprised me. "That's cool,
Mom."
like, we're officially connected." She and Ethan had become like siblings, bickering over games, sharing secrets. The humane path wasn't easy, but it healed us all. Reflecting on it, I realized Mark's secrecy stemmed from cultural norms here in the West. Men often shoulder burdens alone, thinking it protects their families. But it backfired. The light lesson? Openness fosters deeper bonds. We'd learned it the hard way, but it stuck. One crisp fall day, we all hiked Camelback Mountain, Mark's favorite spot. At the summit, overlooking the valley, Ethan said, I miss him. Lily nodded.
Me too.
But look what he left us. We stood together, a patchwork family forged in fire, stronger for the mending. As winter crept in, blanketing the desert in rare chill, our lives intertwined more deeply. Sarah enrolled Ethan in the same online art class Lily took. They Zoomed together, critiquing each other's work. I helped Sarah with her resume. She aimed for a better nursing job in Phoenix. You've got this, I encouraged, channeling Mark's optimism. Reciprocity felt natural, no one-way street. But doubts crept in sometimes. Late nights, I'd stare at old photos of Mark and me, our wedding in Sedona's Red Cliffs, Lily's birth. Was I betraying our memory by embracing this? No. I decided I was expanding it. The legal clarity helped. We consulted a family lawyer, ensuring everything was above board. No hidden assets. No tax dodges, just voluntary support. Tax deductible as charity if claimed. It demystified the mess, making forgiveness easier. Lily blossomed too. At school, she wrote an essay on unexpected families, earning an A. It's about us, she confided. Pride swelled in me. Ethan's birthday rolled around. We threw a small party at Sarah's, piñata. Cake with prickly pear frosting. Lily gifted him a custom keychain she made, echoing Mark's style. So we matched, she said. He hugged her fiercely. Moments like that mended the fractures. One evening, Sarah shared more. Mark found me through a support group for single parents. He volunteered there anonymously. It painted him as a community pillar, not a deceiver. The drama faded, replaced by quiet drama of healing. No thriller twists, just human hearts navigating loss. The new ending dawned during a family road trip to the Grand Canyon. We'd packed the old Ford, clean now, a symbol of moving forward. As we stood at the rim, awestruck by the vast chasm, Ethan asked, "Do you think Mark's watching?" Lily smiled. "Yeah, and he's proud." Sarah squeezed my hand. "We've built something beautiful from the ashes." Back home, I cleared the driveway, but kept the truck for weekend getaways with our expanded crew. The lesson? Life's secrets can wound, but choosing empathy turns pain into purpose. Mark's legacy wasn't perfection. It was teaching us to love beyond boundaries. In that spirit, we started a small tradition, monthly Mark days, sharing stories over dinner. Laughter outweighed tears now. The western sunsets reminded me, horizons are endless. Like forgiveness. Spring brought renewal. Wildflowers dotting the Sonoran desert like confetti. Our group had solidified, barbecues in my backyard, kids splashing in the inflatable pool, Sarah and I swapping recipes. Ethan called me Aunt Emily, a title that warmed my soul. Lily mentored him like a big sister, helping with homework via FaceTime. But the true closure came when I donated to a local single-parent fund in Mark's name. At the ceremony, I spoke briefly. My husband taught me that kindness ripples outward, even if hidden at first. Applause followed. Healing felt complete. One starry night, gathered around a campfire, Lily said, "Mom, I'm glad we found that drive. It hurt, but it made us better." Ethan nodded. "Me too." Sarah raised a toast to second chances. We clinked bottles, the fire crackling like approval. The humane twist?
Not event.
Just redemption. Mark's flaw, secrecy, highlighted a lesson. Transparency builds trust. Compassion mends divides. In the vast Western landscape, we'd learned to embrace the unexpected, turning a shocking discovery into an unbreakable bond. As I watched the kids chase fireflies, peace settled. Life wasn't the fairy tale I'd imagined, But it was richer, more real, and that was enough. Reflecting back, the initial shock of the USB felt like a lifetime ago. We'd navigated legal clarities, cultural shifts, adapting to blended families common in American suburbs. The drama resolved not in courtrooms, but in hearts. The light lesson lingered in a world quick to judge. Choosing understanding fosters true family. Our story ended not with bitterness, but with hope, a testament to human resilience in the American West.